Hi guys, this is Project 6, Module 19 for data analysis class. It was an opportunity for me to address two of the five areas in which the state of Kansas is moving forward in to make sure that our schools as well as our students are on track for success. The two areas in which I chose to focus our continuous school improvement on are kindergarten readiness and social emotional growth measured locally. So what I would do is I would begin to take this to my staff and my faculty and start addressing how we're going to tackle closing the gap in these two areas. So for USD 327, this is what continuous school improvement would look like. First of all, we're going to tackle the concept of kindergarten readiness. To implement that plan, we would want to go ahead and get in a PKS, a kindergarten screener, that would look at social emotional readiness for those kiddos as well as skill-based opportunities for them to show success, or an area in which we need to work more with that student on. We'd also want to go ahead from that PKS is build individual plans of study. Now, as a staff, we're probably looking at that going, okay, what does that look like? Is it really an IEP for every kid? Well, not to the extent of an IEP, but it definitely is individualizing what it is that each kid needs, so that then in the classroom we can build lessons that are directed towards those needs. The third thing within kindergarten readiness as we keep moving forward to improve our school is communication. Communication with our parents, with Head Start, which happens to be the preschool program that is connected with USD 327, but also with the private-owned preschools in town. We want to make sure that we are taking every opportunity we can to make sure that these students come in ready for us. So that PKS, that kindergarten screener, is going to be vital that we implement and we do that well. So I'd be looking to my kindergarten teachers to take a day, maybe 2 days, get those preschoolers in, screen them, and then go over the data after it's been inputted. We'd then communicate with parents about missing skills and missing links that their children exhibit, to begin starting work with them over the summer. I'd like to be able to say to my staff, hey, let's move forward with looking at a grant or some kind of funding to get us a program similar to Parents as Teachers, where we actually have certified teachers going into homes starting at the age of 3, working with students, working with parents to help the parents start teaching more at the age of 3, 4, and then when they get to 5, hopefully they'd be ready for kindergarten to assist us in closing that gap. What we need to do, like I said, is we need to know where we are at and where we'd like to be, and I would use data analysis, something that we've worked quite hard on in our studies in our class to do that. We would collect demographics to understand our kindergarten clientele a little more, as well as enlist the help of the preschool and the Head Start teachers in the evaluation time. To keep this plan moving forward as a staff, we need to dedicate some PLC time and some team time in those discussions of student progress, not just at the beginning of the year, but all the way through. I think it's also very vital that we begin funding or looking for funding a grant, like I said, an opportunity where we can establish a program that would help us teach those parents early on what it is that these kiddos are really needing to have accomplished before they come to us as 5-year-olds in kindergarten. The second area in which I felt was very much important for our district to look at, that links right here with kindergarten readiness, was social emotional growth. I'd like to initiate a new curriculum within the staff. I want to make sure that it's based on our social emotional standards, and that it's being taught weekly within the classroom. So to do that, I need to go ahead and hire a full-time counselor / social worker who'd find themselves inside the classrooms working on, character education, as well as concerns in social, as well as in behavioral needs. I'd want to implement monthly service projects within either grade level or whole school to get those kiddos actively involved in growing socially, as well as being aware of the world outside around them. Within that, I would want to make sure that we are evaluating what we are doing within our classroom assessments. I'd want to look at some district tools and school interactions within what we're doing, whether that's the Bear Cub Superhero Club, district funding, anything to help us decrease our kindergarten retention to less than 5% and increase our instruction time on social emotional skills by 50%. By at least half of what we're doing now, I want to increase that. I'd also want to provide community feedback as we worked in those projects and programs around the community and see how that's working. So here's what I need from the staff. I need a commitment. I need us to work on our environment that it is socially sound, that it's behaviorally acceptable, that we are working to have those kiddos come in and immersed in learning quickly, to have some persistence in this. Keep chugging along as we work in funding and grant and find innovative ways to make sure that we are getting the skills that these kiddos need to get to be ready for kindergarten. The last thing I'm asking for staff is time. PLC time, team time devoted to the data that we would need to be looking at to make sure that these kiddos are ready to move forward. As a staff at USD 327, I think both of these pieces are vital in our success and our continued improvement in what we need to do for our school. Thanks for listening.